I want you to think about someone you love, partner, a spouse, someone you share your life with, or someone you imagine sharing your life with one day. Now I want you to think about the last time you had a real honest conversation about money with them, not a quick check-in about bills, not a stress-filled argument about an unexpected expense. A real conversation about your financial values, about your fears around money, about your goals, your debts, your habits, your history with money. For most people, that conversation has never happened, and the cost of that silence is one of the most devastating financial and emotional experiences a person can go through. Today we are going to talk about everything that conversation needs to cover, and why having it now, no matter how uncomfortable it feels, is one of the most important financial decisions you will ever make. Let me start with a story. Two people meet, they fall in love, they build something beautiful together. They are compatible in almost every way. They share the same values, the same humor, the same vision of the future. They move in together, they combine their lives, and then quietly, without either of them fully realizing it, the cracks begin to appear. Not because they stopped loving each other, not because something dramatic happened, but because they brought two completely different relationships with money into a shared life without ever talking about it. One of them grew up in a home where money was always tight, where saving felt like survival, where spending anything felt dangerous. The other grew up in a home where money flowed more freely, where enjoying life now felt natural, where saving felt like deprivation. Neither of them is wrong. Neither of them is irresponsible. They just learned completely different things about money before they ever met each other. And now those two different money stories are living in the same apartment, sharing the same bank account, and quietly pulling in opposite directions. Every financial decision becomes a negotiation. Every purchase becomes a potential conflict. Every conversation about the future contains an undercurrent of tension that neither of them can fully explain, until one day it becomes impossible to ignore. Here is the truth that most relationship advice never says clearly. Money is not just a practical topic in a relationship. It is an emotional one. How you handle money reflects your deepest values, your sense of security, your relationship with the future, your definition of a good life. When two people with different money values try to build a financial life together, without ever having an honest conversation about those differences, they are not just disagreeing about spending and saving. They are living out two completely different visions of what life should look like, and trying to do it from the same bank account. That tension does not go away on its own. It builds, quietly, slowly, powerfully, until it either gets addressed, or it breaks something. Now let me talk about what the research consistently shows about money and relationships. Financial disagreements are consistently ranked as one of the leading causes of relationship breakdown in America. Not because people do not love each other, because they never built a shared financial foundation. They combined their lives without combining their understanding of money. They assumed that love would figure out the practical stuff, that conversations about debt and spending and saving could wait until they were more serious, or until there was a problem. But by the time there is a problem, the damage is often already done. So what does the conversation actually need to cover? Let me walk you through the most important things. The first thing is financial history. What did money look like growing up in your home? Was it a source of stress, of security, of conflict? How did your parents handle it? What did you learn about money before you ever earned any yourself? This matters more than most people realize, because the money beliefs we carry into adulthood were almost all formed in childhood, without our conscious awareness. Understanding where your partner came from financially explains so much about how they behave financially. The second thing is current reality. What does your financial situation actually look like right now? Income, debts, savings, spending habits, the real honest picture. This conversation is uncomfortable for almost everyone, but it is essential. Going into a shared financial life without knowing each other's real financial situation is like starting a road trip without knowing how much gas is in the tank, or whether the car has a flat tire. The third thing is financial goals. Where do you both want to be? In 1 year? In 5 years? In 20 years? What does financial security look like to each of you? What are you working toward together? Two people can love each other completely, and have completely different visions of what a financially successful life looks like. One person wants to retire early and live simply. The other wants to build a big life with experiences and things they love. Neither vision is wrong, but if they never talk about it, they will spend years working toward different destinations and wondering why they never seem to arrive. The fourth thing is financial roles. Who handles what? Who pays which bills? How are shared expenses divided? What spending decisions require a conversation? What can each person spend without checking in? Clear agreements about roles and responsibilities prevent an enormous amount of resentment and confusion. The fifth thing is financial fears. What scares you about money? What is the financial worst-case scenario in your mind? What would make you feel truly financially insecure? These fears often drive financial behavior in ways that are invisible to the person experiencing them and confusing or frustrating to their partner. Understanding each other's financial fears creates compassion where there was previously conflict. Now let me talk about something called financial infidelity, because this is something millions of Americans experience, and almost nobody talks about openly. Financial infidelity is when one partner in a relationship hides financial information from the other: secret accounts, hidden debt, undisclosed spending, financial decisions made and concealed. Research consistently shows that financial infidelity is shockingly common in American relationships, and the damage it does, not just to the finances, but to the trust, the intimacy, the foundation of the relationship, is often more devastating than people expect. Because discovering that your partner hid financial information does not just feel like a financial betrayal, it feels like a personal one. It raises questions that go far beyond money. What else do I not know? What else has been hidden? How well do I actually know this person? The antidote to financial infidelity is the conversation we have been talking about. Not once, not as a crisis response, but as an ongoing practice, a regular honest check-in about where you both are financially and where you are going together. Here is what I want you to understand about this conversation. It does not have to be perfect. It does not have to cover everything at once. It does not have to be comfortable. It just has to happen. The couples who build strong financial foundations together are not the ones who never disagree about money. They are the ones who learn to talk about it honestly, even when it was hard, even when it revealed differences they had to work through, even when the numbers were not pretty. Money handled well in a relationship becomes one of the strongest foundations you can build. A shared vision, a shared plan, a shared sense of security. Money avoided or hidden in a relationship becomes one of the most corrosive forces you will ever face. The difference is just one conversation, one honest, uncomfortable, necessary conversation that most couples never have until it is too late. If this video made you realize there is a conversation you need to have, do not wait. The longer you wait, the more distance grows where understanding should be. Hit that like button if this hit somewhere real. And listen, this channel is not here to give you generic financial tips. It is here to show you how money actually works in real life, in real relationships, with real consequences. Every single week we go deeper into the truth about money, the conversations people avoid, the mistakes people make, and the simple things that actually make a difference. If that is the kind of content you want more of, subscribe right now. Turn on notifications, because next week we are going even deeper. And the people who stay with this channel, the ones who keep showing up, are the ones who look back and realize this was where things started to change, for their finances and for their lives. I will see you next week.